Good morning, students. Today we have a deep insight into the Ayurveda for life, health, and the well-beings. Now, start with the definition of the Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is actually made of two words. Okay, one is Ayush. So the Ayush, the meaning is life, and a Veda, Ved, Veda, which means knowledge. Okay, so Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is thus the knowledge of life or life science. As you know, Ayush means life, Veda means knowledge. So Ayurveda means the knowledge of life, or you can say it life science. There are many classical texts which can define the Ayurveda as the knowledge that describes the wholesome, unwholesome, happy and unhappy life, as well as parallelly that which informs that what's the wholesome and unwholesome for life and for longevity. So we have when we're talking about the wholesome, there is an opposite unwholesome, and when we take the happy, there is another part unhappy. Okay, sukham and asukham. Okay, happy and unhappy. Okay, so and this is all about the wholesome and unwholesome for the life and also for the longevity of the life. Okay, now if you see through all this definition, that the goal of the Ayurveda, the goal of the Ayurveda is to promote both the individual and the social well-being, at all levels of experience. Now, Ayurveda aims to establish a highest level of health that a human being is capable of achieving. Okay, and its scope is not only it is restricted to the to curing some certain type of disease. Okay, not that. Health is a state of state of physiological, psychological, and spiritual well-beings. So health is basically a combination of physical health, psychological health, and spiritual health. So these are the if we are healthy, then your well-being of in these three lines, that is physically, psychologically, and also you are spiritually. Okay, now several thousands of years ago, a tradition of Ayurveda anticipated the most modern definition of health that has been actually trumpeted by the World Health Organization, WHO. That health is actually a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely it is a absence of the disease or absence of disease or infirmity. Okay, so now if we take the Ayurveda also it is add this is a spiritual dimension, so to health, and point out that the human being is a three-dimensional, and the need to be healthy in body, need to be healthy in mind, and need to be healthy in self, the three-dimensional. Okay, now health is a tool to achieve this fourfold goal of the life. So pursuit of the spiritual and material well-being through the resources obtained by the we have spiritual and material well-being through the resources obtained by that is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So what does Ayurveda have in common with the modern definition of the health? And it is pointed out by the WHO, World Health Organizations. Okay, now Ayurveda emphasizes that the individual well-being should not come into conflict with the social well-being. Okay, a happy life, a happy life is that which achieves the individual well-being, whereas a wholesome life is that which is actually conducive to the social well-being. So happy life means it is the achieve of the individual well-being, and when we talking about the wholesome life, that will be the conducive to the social well-being also. Okay, so these concepts are currently in applications, and we have many country they are projecting their personal indexes and national indexes in case of well-being. That is, an one index for the personal well-being and then another index for the national well-being also, which is exactly the Ayurveda notion of actually happy and a wholesome life. So happy life is a slight different than a wholesome life. When you're talking about happy life, it is all about the individual well-being index, etc., etc. And when you're talking about a wholesome life, that is conducive to the social well-being, and it is also there is an appropriate index which is a wholesome life index, that is also conducive to the social well-being. Now Ayurveda is perhaps the earliest form of integrative medicine practices by humanity. Okay, so the definitions, if you say the definitions of Ayurveda is in tune with the modern notions of integrative medicines. So integrative medicines attempt to heal a body, mind and self at the same time, or treats the human being as a complete whole. So what is the notion? That integrative medicines always have an attempt to heal body, mind and also self at the same time, or treats the total human being as a complete whole. That is actually the attempt. Okay, so integrative medicines combine the mainstream medical therapy, those are the mainstream medical therapy, and the complementary alternative medical therapy. So this is jointly actually the mainstream medical therapy and complementary alternative medical therapies, for which there is some high quality scientific evidence of safety and effectiveness. It is also necessary, the question of safety and the question of effectiveness of that type of medicines or that type of therapies which is used actually. Okay, now Ayurveda states that any human life rests on a tripod of the body. Actually like it's a tripod of the body. But now if we use tripod, then Ayurveda states that human life is actually on the tripod. Tripod have three legs. So tripod means one is body, one is mind and another is self. So any human body is standing on a tripod. So one is body, one is mind and another is the self. So every Ayurveda text also advise that there are multiple approaches to healing that are the prevalent in the world, and that we must examine and obviously integrate to the most effective methods to make the complete system of healing. So as we are talking about the tripod of a human body, tripod of a human life. So any human life, it stand on a tripod. If we are taking a tripod, there is a three legs. So one leg is a part of the body, mind and self is the three leg of a tripod of a human life. And now that we must examine and integrate which is the most effective methods to the complete healing of these three legs. So that would mean the complete system of healing. So healing of the body, healing of the mind and healing of the self, that would actually systemize the complete system of healing procedure. Now Ayurveda defines the health as a dynamic balance of the internal environment that positively impact the sense organs, okay, mind and the self. Okay, so internal environments means this is positive impact on your sense organ, on your mind and on self. Okay, so just like the sun, take the sun or the moon and the wind. Take three things: the sun, one of the moon and the wind. Is always maintain a balance of the of your external environment. Okay, it is a balance. They are maintaining the balance of the external environment. So that the body also maintains a body that is also itself by a balancing mode. Okay, they are also balancing. So you know two things, one is anabolic and the second one is catabolic. Okay, the two words, anabolic, that's the building up, and the catabolic, that is the breaking down. So these two things, activity by, this is the self regulation. So as in externally, sun and the moon and the wind, this maintain the balance of the external environment. So there is also a balance internally which is maintained by the procedure of anabolic and catabolic activity by self regulations. And anabolic is the process of building up, and catabolic is the process of breaking down. Okay, so each individual, if you take one individual, each individual is unique, everyone is unique and has a specific mental conditions, specific physical constitutions. So mental constitutions and physical constitutions of everyone will be different. So every person will be condition of the every person will be different. As we taking about, so internal external balance, it should be maintained that when we talking about the external balance, it is done by the sun, moon or wind, and it is when we taking about the internal balance, that is taken by the catabolic and anabolic systems. Now, which actually Ayurveda has also been the forefront of advocating an approach to personalized medicine from the historical times. Okay, so advance in human genetics and medical genetics have the emergence of a personalized approach to medicine today that tailors medical intervention to suit any individual needs. Okay, now Ayurveda points out that the balance of the inner environment, which are previously talking about catabolic and anabolic. So inner environment can be maintained only by establishing harmony with the external environment. So you have to make a harmony with the external balance and internal environment. So external environment, internal environment, if it is in balance, then there will be no problem. So Ayurveda points out on that point that is the balance of the inner environment can be maintained if we are maintaining the if we are establishing the harmony with the external environment. Ayurveda proclaimed that the human being is an epitome of the universe. Okay, so it is being an epitome of the universe. The microsome is the miniature representations of the macrosome. Okay, and the human being is made of same element that make up the nature. So microsome and macrosome and every human being is made of the same element that is make up the nature. Okay, so thus it is that Ayurveda develops into an clear ecology conscious system of healthcare, ecology conscious system of healthcare for the people of the locality. The plants growing around them are the most suited. Okay, each individual has to carve a lifestyle that consider the geographical region as well as the changing seasons. Okay, so that the microsome is the miniature representation of the macrosome, and the second thing is the human being is made up by the same element that make up the natures. So these two is the can make a ecology conscious system of healthcare, which is the main notions of the Ayurveda actually. Okay, so Ayurveda deals with the both. You can deal with preventive measures with Ayurveda, and you can deal with curative medicines also. So you can deal with a preventive types of medicine, and also you can deal with a curative types of medicine also. So preventive medicine is a centered on the theme of cultivating a lifestyle that is